My third time here in Minnesota, second time in Duluth. Love coming here. You guys are so nice. Most of you. Man, my agent told me we're going to go to a third place this time. We're going to go to International Falls. And I was like, sure, whatever. How far could that be from Minneapolis or Duluth? Pretty fucking far, it turns out. I didn't realize I was doing a show at the North Pole. Jeez. Wow. But it is great to be here. My name is Dale. My last name is Dudkowski. It's Polish. I'm actually half Polish and half Italian, which means I love pizza, but I eat the crust first. Can't help it. I grew up in Connecticut. Not white trash exactly. More like white recycling. Still garbage, just cleaner. Better teeth. Had sort of a working class upbringing. My mom was a nurse, and my dad was a social worker. Yeah, caretaking jobs. Requires caretaking skills. My parents really good at taking care of other people. Just not their own kids, because you gotta draw the line somewhere. Can't save everybody. I remember I would come home from elementary school and I would let myself in the house and I would wait for my mom to get home from work. And they had a term for us when I was growing up. Remember, they called us latchkey kids. Yeah. Yeah, today there's a new term. Child neglect. Same thing, different generation, that's all. Well, my parents did their best. My dad taught me about a lot of things, relationships. He said marriage is the first step to divorce. I was 6 when we first had that conversation. Yeah, most of my friends were raised Catholic. I was raised curmudgeon. Which is just Catholic minus the molestation, actually. What? I didn't get molested. That's good. That's good. Oh, man. Yeah, so I live in LA. I earn most of my living as a personal trainer. 20 years now in LA. It's another way to say my dreams didn't come true. Great place to live, though. A lot of talk these days about labels, you know, identity, sexuality, which I think is weird because when I was growing up, you were either gay, straight, or Prince. Those were the options in the 80s. But no, you gotta pick a label these days. No room for mystery anymore. By today's terms, I'm a cisgender, heteronormative, pansexual, sapiosexual, demisexual, polyamorous dude. In other words, a dude. A dude. Look, I don't like to label myself because I think deep down inside we're all the same. Like every hetero dude here, just a meth addiction away from sucking a dick. If we're being honest. So I live in LA. I live in a city within the city of LA called West Hollywood. Now, if you don't know, West Hollywood, gayest city in the world. Literally, largest gay population in the world, which quite naturally makes it a very liberal place. A couple years ago, this is a true story, they gave the key to the city to Stormy Daniels. Quite an honor. I don't know how necessary that was. The key to the city, it's West Hollywood. The back door is always open. much going on in the world. I went through a breakup recently. We're on good terms, though, my ex and I. You know, we talk, we text. Sometimes we do things together, just not have sex. You know, like a marriage. That's a good joke. I know the married people can't laugh at that with their spouses next to them. I'm one of those people, I'm friends with all my exes, you know, and it works out great, because otherwise I wouldn't have any friends. So. I'm not the only one, though. I read that during the quarantine, right, there was an article that came out at the end of 2020 that they realized that their marriage rates went way down and suicide rates way up. The only conclusion I could draw is that when forced to cohabitate, death seems like the better option. I don't know how else you interpret that data. Oh, man. Yeah, so the relationship I was in was for 4 years, and the one before that I was in for 8 years. You see, my kink is LTR, long-term relationships. 4 years, 8 years, I've come to realize my relationships are a lot like presidential elections. They happen every 4 years, and they have term limits. I always feel like I'm campaigning for re-election, you know? Constantly fundraising. When it's over, I couldn't wait to get back to the private sector, you know? Man. Speaking of politics, 2024, it's an election year. You guys excited? No. Just like the rest of the country, nobody is.
2024.
2024. All right, we got the Trumpers in the back. I saw you. I know you're there. I know you're there. It's coming. We're going to have fun. Don't worry. 2024 an election. It's a repeat of 2020. Universally agreed to be the worst year in recent human history. In America, we're like, yeah, let's do that again. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, man. But I think we need to cut Joe Biden some slack. He doesn't want to run again. He's only doing it because Trump is. Joe Biden would much rather be relaxing with his grandkids, his great-grandkids, and his great-great-grandkids. And his great-great-great-grandkids. He does not want the weight of American democracy on his shoulders. Oh my God. But I truly believe that no matter where we stand politically, we all gotta have empathy for people that we don't agree with, right? Like they say, the people who still follow Trump, it's like they're in a cult. I feel for them, because I got swept up in a cult once. Yeah, in LA it's called acting class. Can happen to anyone. Gotta have empathy. But I feel like no matter where we stand politically, we should all be able to agree that we're anti-violence, right? Yeah. Not a high bar. Like, I wish Trump would die. But by natural causes. I'm anti-violence.
Whoa!
I know. I knew you'd like that one. I love doing these jokes in like red states and purple states, because inevitably somebody will come up and be like, "Dill, you're so partisan." I'm not partisan. It just seems that way because one side is always wrong. Not my fault. Try to be fair. But I'm a bipartisan joke teller. So just so the Trumpers in the room don't hate me, I got another Biden joke for you. 2020, the shutdown, I got a lot accomplished. Anybody else? Yeah, well, no, you guys just sat on your ass and you didn't get anything done? Well, apparently it's a thing in history. I read about this, that, you know, like Shakespeare was in quarantine during the plague and he wrote King Lear, one of his greatest works. Sir Isaac Newton was in quarantine and he discovered gravity. Big deal. Joe Biden was in quarantine and he discovered his keys. So that was good. Oh, man. Another thing about me is that I'm hard of hearing. I was born that way, so that's why if the hecklers in the back want to heckle me, you got to do it in sign language. I I wear hearing aids. I've worn hearing aids since I was a little kid. Being hard of hearing, the only disability that you outgrow. Not the hearing part, but the way the world treats me. You know, I was a little kid running around with hearing aids too big for my head. First of all, I was so cute. But they treated me special. Sat me in front of the class. I was a gifted child. Now I'm just middle-aged. No one cares. I'm just like every other idiot that blasted music in their headphones for 40 years. Who walks around saying what all the time. Yeah, you know, because every family's got one, right? TV's turned up to 100. Nobody in the house can hear. Everybody's yelling, everybody's pissed. Now, obviously, I'm not totally deaf. I'm deaf light. It's my rap name. My name is... What? My name is... Huh? My name is... Okay. Still can't hear you. Deaf light. It just needs Dr. Dre. I said that to the one black guy in the room. Thanks for bearing with me, sir. Oh, man. A lot of advantages, actually, to being hard of hearing. I can sleep. I could be the world's greatest napper. I can sleep through anything. Police sirens. Helicopters. Home intruders. I'm not waking up. Best part about being hard of hearing is if I get into a fight with my girlfriend, I just take my hearing aids out, and it's over. I don't care if she gets the last word, because it falls on deaf ears, so. Oh, man. But I do believe that all people with disabilities should be treated equally amongst ourselves. Go ahead, applaud for that. Nice. I mean, I don't see why I shouldn't be able to get the handicap spot. What, your disability is better than mine? You got fibromyalgia, can't walk a couple extra feet? Come on. By the way, fibromyalgia, like the gluten allergy of disabilities. A lot of people think they have it, but do they? Do they? These are jokes, people. I don't want the fibromyalgia community coming after me. Career can't handle that right now. I'm just saying, it seems kind of arbitrary where they draw the line, you know? Like, there's a guy at my gym that parks in the handicap spot, and he's perfectly able-bodied. You should see this guy's workout. Kettlebell swings, box jumps. Finally, I asked his trainer, a friend of mine, I'm like, what is that guy's disability? You know, he's parked in the handicap spot. And he said, this guy's HIV positive. I said, I have AIDS. It had to be said. It had to be said. Oh, man, you guys are great. You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you for coming out and supporting live comedy. Yeah! It's so important. We got to get out from behind our screens. You know, we're all being manipulated by information. All of us, no matter what we believe, we're being manipulated. You got a smartphone, you're being manipulated. Some of us are better fact checkers than others. But we're all being manipulated. Ah, man. Tell you about a health issue I had recently. I woke up one morning with vision loss. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I could see over here fine, but I couldn't see over here. I had a big blind spot. And my first thought was, I sure am giving Helen Keller a run for her money here. And then I was like, one more disability, and I could definitely get on America's Got Talent. Well, it turns out the vision loss was because I had a stroke. Bummer, I know. Don't worry, there's a happy ending. But it was terrifying, right? And I was in the hospital for 5 days. It's a big deal. I'm not your typical stand-up comic because I have health insurance. See, lucky. Very lucky. But it's a scary thing. I was in the hospital for 5 days, you know? And so when the doctor came in and told me about is that you had a stroke, you could have died or been severely disabled, I asked the doctor the obvious question. I said, Doc, you think now I can get that handicap spot? What does a man have to do? My God. I'm glad we're having fun here. Oh, man. So, you have an event like that, it teaches you that there are important things to do in life. And if you haven't done them, you've got to go do them. So I turned 50 recently. Thank you. I'll take it. I will take it. People always say, like, oh, you don't look 50. You look great. What do you do? What's your secret? And I do have a secret. Naps. And don't have kids. So you can take naps. And don't do crystal meth. That's about all I got for you. Stay away from crystal meth. Oh, man. So I decided to treat myself to the trip of a lifetime. I went to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Any Brazilians here? Anybody ever been to Brazil? Anybody ever heard of Brazil? Oh, good, good. Thank you. Relatability, you gotta have relatability. Oh man, every country is famous for something. Like, what are you saying? What's going on back there? What the hell?
Donkey show.
What?
Donkey show.
Doggy show?
No, donkey.
Donkey. I don't. Yeah, I think they're on mushrooms. Just keep it down, huh? Keep it down. Anyway, I was going to Brazil. Every country's famous for something, right? America, land of the free. Brazil is the land of ass. Don't get mad at me. It's the official slogan. I didn't believe it either. I had to look it up. Best butts you've ever seen in your life, everywhere, all the time. Oh my God, from like teenagers on the beach playing volleyball, 70-year-old great-grandmothers. Brazilians take their fitness seriously. Oh my God. The national anthem is a song called Bebê Tem Costas, which translates roughly to, Baby Got Back. I'm just sharing what I learned. I'll never forget, it was a Tuesday afternoon and I'm sitting on the beach and it's packed. Tuesday, thousands of people. Elbow to elbow, ass, as far as the eye can see. And not a one-piece bathing suit in sight. Thong bikinis only. Black ass, white ass, every shade of ass in between. And that's when I got robbed. Such an easy target, aren't I? Stupid gringo distracted by ass, you know? Still, best vacation ever. I was a Tinder superstar. 24 matches on the first night. I haven't had that many matches in LA in 2 years. And one was more beautiful than the next. It got to the point I had to do something I could never do in LA. I had to raise my standards. Started swiping left on 7s and 8s. I'm apologizing. Like, I'm only here 9 days. Like, who's got that kind of time, you know? A friend of mine said to me, woman, feminist, she's like, Dale, who are you to judge women's butts? Now, that's a fair question. I'm a feminist ass man. It's allowed, I looked it up. Different parts of the brain. But to answer my friend's question, I said, look, I've been a celebrity trainer for 20 years. I have a master's degree in exercise physiology. I'm literally an expert on ass. She didn't think that was as funny as I did. What I am trying to say, people, is I am on Duolingo. I'm learning Portuguese. And if you motherfuckers put Trump back in the White House, you can find me in Brazil. Thank you so much. I'm President Johnson. You guys have been great.